thumbs up button before you go. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I want to say hi to my friends on Instagram at The Real Boyce Watkins. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, it's The Real Boyce Watkins. And also, for those of you who are like myself, who are upset over Louis Farrakhan being banned from Facebook, being upset is one thing, but actually solving the problem is another. So we did solve the problem. We'd actually been working on the problem. We don't believe in reacting. We're proactive. And one of the proactive ways that we did solve this problem is we had created a social media platform for Black people called Black Enough. And here's how you spell it. It's right here on the shirt. Here's the URL. It's blackenough.com. And now the name's a little bit weird, but let me tell you where it came from. It came from the fact that we were basically saying, yeah, are you Black enough? You got to be Black enough to be part of the platform. So we were like, yeah, let's spell it an interesting way so that we can actually use hard consonants, which actually when babies first talk, they start talking with hard consonants like G and K. That's why sites like Google do really well, because they just naturally flow off the tongue. So we picked this word, Black enough, and we had it trademarked and copyrighted over a year ago because we knew that at some point Facebook was going to start banning lots and lots of Black people. And instead of just complaining and feeling marginalized and left out, we said we want to give Black people a home, a place where they can go and do social media without fear for persecution. This ideology actually is similar to what the Mormons did. The Mormons were being mistreated really badly, for being Mormons, and so they just went out west looking for the Great Salt Lake, and that's when they established Salt Lake City, which is now worth billions of dollars. But at that time, there was nothing there. There were no jobs in Salt Lake City. There was no government in Salt Lake City. There was no opportunities in Salt Lake City. They went out and they created jobs. They created opportunities. They created the life that they wanted. So that's what I believe in doing. So let's go and build. Let's not just sit around and feel bad. Let's go out and make ourselves strong. Melanated God asks, is there an app? There is an app. Black Enough is actually, the technology is not ours. It's actually part of something called Mighty Networks. And Mighty Networks, if you look for the Mighty Networks app, you can actually go to Black Enough from there. We actually are developing a custom-made app just for Black Enough. We wanted to just see what the interest would be in the Black community first. And once we hit a critical mass of, say, 100,000 people on the platform, then we'll go ahead and make the investment for the custom app. The reason we didn't make the investment initially is because sometimes we don't know if Black folks are going to show up or not. A lot of people do a lot of talking like, oh, yeah, Dr. Boyce, y'all should have your own social media platform and y'all should go build it and blah, 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 blah. And then after, went out and spent $20, $30, $40, $50,000 and put it out there, then people don't want to be a part of it, or they don't follow through on what they want to do. So it's not that I get mad at anybody for that. It may be because of something we did wrong, or we didn't make it appealing enough, or maybe we misinterpreted the message. But what we like to do is put something out there first. And this is what they call an MVP in business, a minimum viable product. So we'll put the minimum viable product out there. We'll say, okay, does the community want it? If the community wants it, then we reinvest, we double up. If the community doesn't want it, we have to pivot and go in another direction. That's why in the Black Business School, our business models are different from everyone else's, because Black people have a different experience from everyone else. Black people are in a situation where we're not like the Silicon Valley unicorns, where we can go and drop, $30 million on a bad idea, or whatever it is, or $100 million on a bad idea. We have to figure out, just a few $1,000 if the idea is going to stick or not, and then we can decide how to reinvest. So ultimately, one of the benefits of the Black Business School is that we teach business models specifically designed to deal with the unique circumstances of the African American community. We don't think about anybody else, and that's what we do. So anyway, so let me do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Please do that. And also, let me tell you what I wanted to talk about real quick today. LeBron James made a really epic business deal with a company called Blaze Pizza. And Blaze Pizza, basically, apparently they have this new model where you can make your own pizza or something. I mean, making pizza is nothing new. Everybody, people have been doing this for a million years. But LeBron pizza is a little bit different from regular pizza, right? And so anyway, it was reported in ABC News that LeBron made $1 million investment for a 10% ownership stake in Blaze Pizza. Now, this was an interesting situation. It was a mix where they knew that LeBron was going to be bringing financial power, but they more importantly knew LeBron was bringing star power. LeBron was bringing capital to the deal that had nothing to do with how much money he had in his bank or in his bank account. A lot of entertainers are making deals like that. I think that what makes this deal unique and special is that is that there's a very clear and distinct and solid amount of equity that came with the deal that allowed LeBron's wealth to grow with the company. Also, it allows him to walk away with significant ownership, which I can contrast that to, say, the deal that Jay-Z made, where Jay-Z was pretending or being presented to the world as an owner of the Brooklyn Nets, which he was not. He owned 1/15 of 1%, which really isn't an owner. That's just the person that you just pretty much exist. He owns slightly more than I do of the Brooklyn Nets, and I don't own nothing in the Brooklyn Nets. 1/15 of 1% is only slightly above zero. I mean, it's really not significant. You're not making any significant decisions. You're not doing anything major with the company. And the problem with that is it's not dissing Jay-Z. It's not saying Jay-Z, he's a lame, he's weak. It's really kind of saying that you have to understand the difference between deals where there's a significant black equity ownership stake versus when the black people are kind of being used as mascots to use their star power and their influence. You see, black people were social media influencers before social media came along. So there are deals where black influence is used to get black people to get on board with a deal that is bad for the black community. It's almost like the way they would pay off African dictators to allow them to go into countries like a Nigeria or third world countries and just extract their resources and not give anything back to the people. And so ultimately, at the end of the day, what you see with the situation with Jay-Z and everybody else, it was that some of these deals were just not beneficial to the black community. They were actually more like deals that were almost like deals with the devil. And in fact, I remember Cornel West telling me about the hard work he had to do when he was actually protesting the deal. He was kind of throwing salt in the game by protesting and saying, these deals don't seem to be giving real economic value to the people of Brooklyn. You guys gotta give me a second. Stay there. I'm still here. You can still hear me. But basically when he started doing all that protesting, there were people that did not like it. There were people that said, hey, wait a minute, this guy is messing up our ability to go out here and make money and to gentrify this community. So Jay-Z was, unfortunately, in that particular situation, it was the perception was he was used as a tool for white gentrification. Because what happened was that once Jay-Z became listed as an owner, then black folks stopped asking the hard questions, and because they were like, oh, we don't want to get in the way of this black man trying to own a basketball team. But the black man wasn't actually owning a basketball team. The real owners of the basketball team, from what I understand, were a bunch of billionaires, a lot of whom were from Russia. So you talk about Russia meddling. They don't just meddle. They're not just accused of meddling in the elections. They're also accused of meddling in black business and in black ownership too, right? And so ultimately, long story short, that's the kind of deal that I can't always support, because I think that those deals don't always benefit the community at large. But LeBron, it looks like he and his family are walking away with ownership. It looks like he and his family are walking away with long-term economic benefits. LeBron is making moves in the black community that are benefiting lots of people besides himself. And so I think LeBron's a good one, for this particular deal, as well as other things that he's doing. I think it's an excellent learning and teaching tool as well. That's why I'm talking to you guys about it. So basically, LeBron invested this $1 million in Blaze Pizza. Hit the thumbs up button, please. Please hit the thumbs up button. And when he made this investment in Blaze, it was for $1 million for 10% of the company. And recently, they stated in ABC News that LeBron's stake is worth about $35 million. In fact, actually, on my Facebook page, I actually posted this screenshot of how much money LeBron made, every year. Starting from the time that he made the first initial investment in the company, and the numbers are pretty powerful, pretty alarming, and not alarming in the sense of like in a good way, right? Basically, the guys made a killing off this deal. If you look at the numbers here, which I have in front of me here, it looks like in 2012 when he made the deal. In 2012, the company only made $800,000. In 2013, once LeBron signed on, the company saw a big jump in revenue to $5.5 million. 2014, $32 million. 2015, $101 million. 2016, $185, and then $279, $341, and $400 million going up to 2019. So every year there's been growth in revenue. LeBron owns 10% of that. LeBron's presence has made a huge difference in the amount of money that's coming into that company. So that's an example of how wealth is built. That's an example of how you do a legal flip. And I love LeBron. Congratulations to him and his family for that.